Tommy Treacy, great to catch up with you, Tommy. Tommy, reflecting back on old Red Mills hurdle and chase winners over the last 25 or so years, and to me, one of the most memorable Red Mills hurdle wins was that of Danoli when he won the race for you and Tom Foley. What can you recall about that day, and why would you have gotten such a kick out of it?
Well, Dave, just to be riding him, he was a people's horse and everyone loved him. And our local track, I was in work in Paddy Munn's in Doninga, and it's only down the road, and I'm 10 minutes away, Greg Manor. But local track, plenty of people that I knew there, all people that I knew there, and just to be lucky enough to have horse like Danoli to ride in it, and to win it was a dream.
And I remember in the parade ring before the race, I'd say they must have been 10 or 12 deep right around the parade ring, because he had won a Southern Lines hurdle before this. At this stage he had won an Aintree hurdle, and he was kind of on the comeback trail.
Yeah, he was on the comeback trail, and I was lucky enough to be on him, and everyone wanted a piece of him in Gowran that day. Everyone was there to see Danoli, the people's champion, and to be lucky enough to be riding him was a massive bonus for me.
Closing the gap gradually in second, in third Jupiter Jimmy. Now they face up to the second last. Danoli stays on the rail. On the stand side is Tiananmen Square, who's trying to close. Over the second last, Danoli. Couple of lengths clear now of Tiananmen Square, who's come under pressure. And Danoli is digging deep now and racing on to the final flight in the Red Mills Trial Hurdle. Danoli and Tom Treacy out in front. Tiananmen Square can't close anymore. And at the final flight, Danoli goes through the top bar but is clear and racing up to the finish. Danoli has made all to win it. He's down and racing up to the finish. Danoli is back on the winning trail as they go to the line. Danoli wins it clear of Tiananmen Square. Holders gets third from Jupiter Jimmy, who's fourth.
And obviously, probably the highlight of your career was that victory at Leopardstown when he won the Irish Gold Cup.
Definitely, Dave. To the day I die, I'll never forget it. And the same thing, I emphasise Iron Horse. Like, to win a Hennessy, I watched it growing up as a chap, and I visualise it every day. And to set him alight turning down the back in Leopardstown so far out, you couldn't do it on any normal horse, but he wasn't a normal horse, he was an Iron Horse. I knew he'd burn horses off because he'd give every ounce he had in his body for you. And that's why I call him an Iron Horse. He had guts and a heart as big as a steam train.
And just in relation to the Gowran race, is there anything that sticks out for you from that day? Would it have been special for you to win a Red Mills hurdle on Danoli at your local track?
It meant everything at the time. It was our local track, a big day in Gowran Park, the Red Mills. It was a big meeting every year, and it was one I wanted on my CV and matched up, and I was delighted going with William Park and with Danoli, and everything went straight forward. And he was when he was right, he was very straightforward. He was.
And a great man trained him, and great people owned him as well. They turned down plenty of money throughout his career, especially the early starts of his career. They turned down significant offers for him, and it was great for Tom to retain the horse from start to finish, and he enjoyed a happy retirement in the Irish National Stud.
It was brilliant, like Dan O'Neill owning him, great owner, and he and his family very family orientated and very loyal. When you were riding him, and look, a lot went into the horse. He was part of our family. He wasn't like any other horse in training. He was part of our family, but he was part of all our family. From day one, he was very easy horse to fall in love with.
There's not too many horses around like him, Tommy, that had the following that he had during that period as well. Was that something that you were conscious of when you rode him? You rode him at the start and you rode him at the latter end of his career as well.
Yeah, I was conscious of it, but still, when you got up on him and you went to do your job, and you were riding him for the horse. I wanted to do him justice too. We had a partnership, and it went a lot more than winning or losing. We had a bond, and he's very close, even now close to my heart, even thinking about him. He was just a pure warrior.
And as I said, he enjoyed a great retirement in the Irish National Stud, but he wasn't the easiest horse to train. Like, he had problems and he developed injuries, and I think it was a real testament to how Tom trained him, but the horse's attitude as well, that he came back from those injuries as well. As you say, he was a real warrior.
He was a real warrior, but he was one of their family. You know, maybe in a real big yard, this horse got so much attention that people wouldn't. I see him behind the scenes. He was looked after like part of their family. He was one part of their family. They ate, slept, bred Danoli as well. You know, around the clock.
Well, from the racing's public's point of view, I think it was his never say die attitude, and then I remember speaking to you before that if he brushed up alongside a horse as well when he got tired, it used to bring him alive no matter how tired he was.
Yeah, like in normal terms, the only way I could he was like the Rocky. He could look like he was bet, and energy or heart or guts came out somewhere, and he'd dig deeper, he'd drop another gear, and he'd give every ounce in him for you. And for me, that was his forte. That was him. He was just never beaten until he was beaten. Played so hard all the time.
Well, I think he was the hero horse for so many people, because so many people locked onto what he was trying to do. He was trained by a relatively small trainer. Dan turned down money for him, and I think that's why the people latched onto him as well. And part of the reason of the charm as well is when you got back on him. And again, that magical day at Leopardstown, I was there, lucky enough to be there. I don't think anyone will forget that. But I remember being in the parade ring at Gowran Park, and people were straining over the parade, or into the parade ring just to have a look at him and to get up close to him. He was a real local hero at that stage when he ran in the Red Mills.
He was a local hero, and like there was, I can still remember coming in Gowran. Like the place was mobbed. There were 3, 4 deep in Gowran. You don't see it as much now. But Jesus, Leopardstown, I'll never forget Gowran or Leopardstown them 2 days with the people. They carried him into the parade, and the atmosphere and the sense of satisfaction that he won, and that everyone was so happy to see him win was great too.
Back on the winning trail as they go to the line. Danoli wins it, clear of Tiananmen.